think we need to relax a bit. I mean, God. We may need to dance a bit here. So I know the topics, as I mentioned, the topic is quite hard, I would say. It's ESG for environmental social governance, and DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, is something that now rings into our ears all the time, right? So maybe before today's session, nobody is presenting. As we have all agreed, it will be more of a fire chat session, and hopefully that can also be a part where our audience can take part in the discussion. And maybe I would like to leave a lot of room for Q&A, so please do prepare now as we discuss on the questions that you feel should be discussed by the panel today. So I will just quickly start with something that is more overarching towards the things that we do. So how do we actually see this ESG/DEI as part of the overall, I would say, because your Fadjar here, Mas Fadjar, yeah, he's so young. Mas Fadjar is here as the corporation, and he is now in between all of the consultants who this morning said, don't listen to your PR agency, right? But this time we should. So maybe we'll start with that, seeing how does a corporation like Pertamina, which is a state-owned enterprise, being able to provide an example, people to follow through on the strategy of ESG and DEI, since now it's not just about CSR, right? So please take that.
Thank you, Bunia. So hello everyone. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me. So everyone knows Pertamina is an energy company, national energy company, oil and gas specifically, but now we call it ourselves as an energy company because we are moving forward since fossil fuel, but also we are currently doing the sustainable or new renewable energy also. So that's why we call it ourselves energy company. So speaking about DEI, ESG, it's a really concerning topics, of course, for us exemplary, because we are the energy company. So the pressure is there for us how to make the company to become more sustainable, more eco-friendly. So that's why in terms of DEI and ESG, Pertamina is fully commitment about ESG and DEI. We do both internally and externally. For example, internally we have created some internal policies. For example, respectful workplace policy, it is to make sure that all of our employees are valued, are respected, and also can be grow and given them to the opportunity to grow. So that's why we are fully committed about the diversity, inclusion, and equality. And externally, you're speaking about CSR. Yeah, but currently we are moving the concept of CSR. We are not speaking about CSR, for example, giving money to the society and that's it. But now Pertamina has emerged the concept of CSR to more empowerment. For example, we also have a program, a small medium enterprises program. We nurturing them. So we provide coaching for them, including we also invite them to not only national but also global conference or global exhibition. So we call it, the program is UMKM Naik Kelas or UMKM Go Global. So that's why we created some empowerment based program. And then we also related to the inclusions, we also nurturing program, small medium enterprises, focuses on woman empowerment. So we nurturing the woman-led small medium enterprises, and also we also have a special program for our disabilities friends. So we have some small medium enterprises in local area that empower the disabilities people. So that's they can become more independent in terms of economy. So they can then increase their quality of life. So both policies internally and externally, internally policies and then external action that we do, we of course to support how Pertamina is committed to DEI and ESG.
Perhaps before we move on to the other speakers, maybe we can get an overall sort of like overview of how the communication really plays the role in this public relations aspect in regards to DI and ESG.
Yeah, of course, for the corporate communication is our task to how we communicate all the programs that we have been created. So it's not only communicating about the corporation or the profit, for example, because we are the company, but also we do campaign how Pertamina can be a sustainable company. That's why, for example, we also have a concrete example, media partner to always communicating or to campaign that kind of program. And then we also want to make sure that our investor, our stakeholders well informed about what we do about ESG and sustainability. So that's why I think our task as a corporate communication is not only about the corporation, but how we can campaign the community program so that can make more impactful for the community.
Okay. Thank you, Mas Fadjar. And perhaps maybe Jenny, you can, based on your experiences, maybe you can also add on to that in how public relations plays a role in communicating ESG and DEI, and how we should also avoid greenwashing, because that's an issue that we have at the moment as well, not just in Indonesia, but perhaps also across Asia Pacific.
Thank you. I think that, well, we know public relations professionals with all of our labels that we wear, and particularly at a C-suite and a very senior level, play a significant role in influencing, firstly, the uptake or the decision to embed DEI and ESG policies within an organisation. Also, they maintain and track and measure the progress of that, reporting that through all the channels. They also need to be the champion for the truth and honesty and in the reporting of those measures. And if it's not progressing, taking it back to the core of the organisation and working out why. So what are the barriers? What are the challenges? Why isn't it progressing? So public relations professionals play a variety of roles in that influencing. At a global level, ESG and DEI are fundamental to the Sustainable Development Goals for United Nations. As we heard the Foreign Minister this morning say to us that we're not progressing on those measures very well. We've got till 2030 before they get renewed. And not only in this region, in Asia Pacific, but I think globally at the moment, we're about to face some very serious headwinds from some global leaders like the change in presidency in the US, who, if we judge from his previous form, is likely to defund a lot of those programs and to deconstruct a lot of those programs. We've heard a phrase bandied around the media in the lead up to that election in the US of woke capitalism. They attribute woke capitalism to DEI mostly. So if you're looking at diversity, inclusion and equality, that's what he's attacking. And that he's not the only government, but that's going to, many of his kind across the world who read from the same playbook are also coming after it. So for all of us on stage and for all of us in the audience, we've got some challenges coming, and the 2030 deadline is also coming.
That's kind of scary in a way, right? Because then it sort of like puts us backward, especially in regards to DEI. So perhaps, Ruby, would you like to say a few words in regards to how communication will play a role in that aspect?
Well, we do have many challenges of implementing DEI, but before that, I would like to actually share some figures with you about the growing trend of DEI in Hong Kong. Well, according to the recent research, 80% of organizations are implementing DEI, which is quite high.
Do you want to make your mic closer?
Yes, okay. I'll repeat that. Well, according to the recent survey result, about 80% of organizations in Hong Kong is implementing DEI. That makes that important. And out of that, 47% of company plan to invest more on DEI. Okay, and 87% have already located their budgets for DEI initiatives. That is very high, well, higher than the global average of 85%. Okay, that situation is very special right now because Hong Kong, well, as a background to share with you, Hong Kong is in short of labor power, in short of labor. Very serious right now. Actually, for the past 5 years, we have over 300,000 of people move out of Hong Kong to Australia, to Canada, to England, to Taiwan. Okay, that makes the shortage of labor. And that also encourages or prompts the company or organization to open their recruitment market, to employ more overseas staff, and to do cross-border recruitment, staff recruitment. Except that, I think the labor force, the working force in Hong Kong right now is also, I mean, the middle management, the shortage of middle management staff is quite serious. Because for those I've mentioned, for those immigrants moving out of Hong Kong, they are well-educated professionals, especially PR. I think in PR sector, we are in short of the middle management. And to fill that gap, we have opportunity because we have a big, support from China, okay? Now under the, what we call the Greater Bay Area, we have 11 cities under GBA area. So we can do cross-border recruitment. Okay, that give us more opportunity to engage more staff. But still, we have to face the challenges of engaging staff, speaking different languages, having different, education and growing background and culture. So this is the situation right now in Hong Kong. We have to tackle and face.
I see. So in a way, it's like migration of people coming in from different areas to make sure that the mix is actually equal and inclusive. That's the issue. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we'll move over towards what we can actually do to implement ESG. We did mention that it's not something, ESG is much larger than CSR. We all agree to that, right? So perhaps we can go back to Pertamina and see how you were able to assess which are the most relevant aspects in the ESG that is viable for Pertamina to do. So we're more looking at how the strategy was developed.
Yeah, strategy to implement the ESG in Pertamina. So again, CSR is one of the example. We agree that the concept of CSR is now completely different before a couple of years ago. So in Pertamina, maybe I will give another example, the more concrete example. We have been created, we call it Pertiwi. Pertiwi is a woman organization, but the member is not only women, gentlemen also can become a member in Pertiwi. So it's an organization within our corporations that mainly focus on empowerment and then education and inclusiveness. So this kind of organization can help a woman in Pertamina because as we all know that oil and gas company, we are a male industry company, right? Male-dominated industry. So that's why we empowered all the women workers. Currently, the numbers of women employee in Pertamina is 19.4%. The target is 25%. We are getting there because the average of energy company is within 20% each. And we're getting there. That's why we promote that women in Pertamina can also become a leader, because our previous CEO was also a woman. So that's why we created this kind of program, because in Indonesia, maybe against we faced with cultural complexity. For example, women who just finished their graduates, maybe they still urging to work, and then after they married, after they have a family, the pressure is there, mostly because of the cultural. Married women are mostly related with the family, so that's why their job is not more longer priority. So that's why we already have a survey also in Pertamina. For example, the entrance rate for women employee is more than 30%, but after some years it will reduce because of the problem that I said before. So that's why we created the woman organization that pushed our women employee in Pertamina so they can become a leader one day. And also for the inclusivity, Pertamina also is an inclusive company. So we have currently 57, I think, 57 disabilities worker. They can be joined to Pertamina. It's increased 22% compared to last year. So that's why we are fully committed about the DEI and also inclusivity. Because we want to be a sustainable company.
Thank you, Mas Fadjar, for giving us a bit of a hint of what you are doing at Pertamina. Perhaps, Jenny, would you like to give a bit of your viewpoints on that, in case, and then maybe Ruby, you can give. But before you do, does everyone agree that the noise outside is bothering you? Yes? Okay. Please, for the committee, can you kindly ask the people around the doors to not bother us that's inside? I think it's quite intrusive as well, not appreciating the people who are here to be taking part in the discussion. So mohon dari panitia meminta para yang sedang ada di luar untuk tenang ya, karena ini mereka harusnya hadir di dalam, bukan di luar. Terima kasih. Okay, thank you. Apologies for that.
That's
okay. I think it was
no,
something that needs to be taken into account.
Thank you for that. It was on point. I think, obviously we're diverse in this room. Countries are at different points on this journey. Organisations are as well. If we think about the diversity position as far as inclusivity in organisations, if we're taking as read the way in which the frameworks have been presented to us globally, from a diversity and inclusion perspective, you're looking at women, cultural diversity, you're looking at actually LGBTIQ, you're looking at disability, ableism, you're also looking at age, and you're also looking at the way in which the policies within an organisation are flexible and agile enough to make reasonable adjustments for all of those people. And that is a huge ask for an organisation to shift its business thinking and model, or its NGO status, or whatever type of organisation it is, to make that work. For a woman, we know that for full inclusion in a workplace, the government and the organisation needs to have policies in place that look at childcare, that look at flexibility around working times, that look at superannuation if you have that within your country, that obviously look at equal pay. And I'm not holding Australia up as any bastion of this. Just yesterday, we hit our last day of equal pay in Australia before women start to go backwards in our year. So we are $1 to 79 cents is our equal pay. And we're not proud of that, but we're working on it. So I think that if you're looking at DEI and the challenges that we all have, we have to own up to what we mean by diversity, what we mean by inclusion. In this room, we have cultural diversity, age diversity, gender diversity. We don't have disability diversity. And that's a challenge for the public relations industry. And we don't have some other diversities that we need to lean into.
Thanks. Would you like to add on to that, Ruby?
Yes. I think power.
Can you make your mic closer, though?
Okay.
Sorry.
Is that good? Power of acceptance is very important. You have to be very open, flexible to deal with your staff, to deal with the people who are different from you. And I think not just the leader has to equip with those good qualities or characters. We have to offer training to our staff also, how to receive people, all from other places, how to be inclusive. That is quite important. And second, I want to share is about the working mode. I don't know, Indonesia, but in Hong Kong, my agency is working in very complicated working mode. We manage over half of the staff who are working from home, okay? And we manage 20% of staff who are not in Hong Kong. They are from overseas, including Canada, including Taiwan, Japan, and Hong Kong. So time zone difference is also a challenge to the leaders. So you have to be very tough and have to, get your group, what we call group manager or regional manager to work in, more flexible and good way, so that we can include, all different kinds of people in one company to ensure the harmony and inclusivity. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it looks like that even though DEI is something that companies have started, there may be still a gap. For example, we always think that gender equality means more women to be included, but even like in our PR, a lot of the employees in regards to public relations is actually already a lot of women, right? As mentioned today, I believe, I can't remember, that 70%, I think the president of Global Alliance mentioned 70% of the members are women already. So how do we actually include more men to be more, even though that we say that a lot of challenges also for women being in the executive is actually also an issue. So would you be able to touch on that, Ms. Fadjar, in regards to how do we make women not just numbers or men as numbers, but to make them also be part of the management level? Is there something that is done in Pertamina?
Thank you. Yeah, the program that I said earlier, Pertiwi, is also to support all women employees in Pertamina to become a leader one day. So created programs such as to accompany them to have a better education. Speaking about daycare, childcare, we also provide daycare in Pertamina in our office to support women, moms, worker. They can put their children to our childcare so they can more focus in their job. So yeah, that's kind of program I think that we fully support it because again, we are in energy company, 20% women, 80% male, so it's a male-dominated industry. So that's why we want to commit also about to increasing the numbers of women in Pertamina to become a leader. But again, I think some challenges also we already face it. One of them is a cultural, traditional aspect, and then yeah, again the stigma about the woman working in the energy company because it's technical engineering company. So maybe yeah, we have to start it from the education. I think because I think started from the university level, the entrance point for women to join the STEM discipline is less than men, of course. So that's why I think we have to create some campaign also how to make the STEM discipline, science, technology, mathematics is more encouraged to women, so they can more interested about the engineering company.
I think STEM is not only challenging for women, for men as well, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. Who is not into math? Oh, it looks like only you, Fiona. Everybody is into math. All right, so just to give a break about DEI, I believe it's still a challenge. I believe the standards are there for us to follow, and I believe also that Pertamina can be one of the companies that can showcase all the things that people, especially the state-owned enterprise, can do. So now let's move a bit to governance, right? We've talked about a lot of the environmental and social, especially social aspects as well. But what are the challenges for governance? Maybe if you can take that part first, as you as an advocate and have been working together with the government as well.
I think, as we heard yesterday in our academic day, and even this morning, governance is going to be everything. For our own profession, we need to step, as Professor Anne Gregory said, step into governance, but we have to deal with some home truths first, and that's around ethics. But that is a journey that we need to take, and I'm encouraged that we're enthusiastic to do so. Governance at a organisational level, board directors, whether you're an independent company or a listed company, governance at a government level, be it national or global, is essential. But I think that the governance frameworks are achievable, but we need to break them down into baby steps. Their fundamental tenets or values cannot be shifted. We need that for progress. We need that for inclusivity. We need that for all humanity. However, they are going to be seriously tested, and they always get tested. The difficulty for organisations, be state-owned or independent or listed, when headwinds and challenges come knocking, governance gets shaky, and they need to hold the line, and they need to have plans in place. But fundamentally, what I've found of late is that there is a lacking of understanding and expertise on boards and in leadership of what true governance means and what it means in action. There is a shakiness around being challenged at a board level, particularly, interestingly, around DEI issues. They're frightened of taking on challenges to these new policies that they're trying to implement, and that's fair enough, and it's human nature, but they do need to hold the line because there are some very serious precedents that they need to maintain in order for these policies and these frameworks to have integrity.
Great, Jenny. Would you like to have a few words on governance as well, Ruby?
Yes, in Hong Kong, talking about the governance, we have equal opportunity audience in Hong Kong and equal opportunities department. So the position is quite high and important. So, and they do a lot of PR and promotions on how to deal with people with different ability. That's very important. So including TV commercials, including seminars. So government is making a lot of efforts to make sure Hong Kong is places of diverse, diverse culture and diverse gender, right? No, I shouldn't say diverse gender. I should say, diverse, culture mainly, right? So, so this audience really help a lot, and people is being well educated about how to deal with different people with different ability. But seems that diversity of disabled is still under, under global standard, right? Okay. So we have to receive more people with disabilities. Working opportunities now in Hong Kong for disability is really, I should say bad. I should say bad. Because Hong Kong is a small city, not many companies can accommodate, staff with disability, right? Okay, because you should have different of equipments or space for that. Okay, so still discriminations against the disabilities, still exists in Hong Kong, right? But as a PR, we have been pushing very hard and promoting how to accept those disabilities, right? So many campaigns is going on. And second, I would like to say about the governance on the ESG. All listed company has to report ESG, and recently we have put DEI also under ESG reporting. So I think we see a good sign that we want a more inclusive community. Yeah.
Thank you. Give a big hand of applause to our panel for today.